Hey, this is Brad, the lead wine consultant with Kosherwine.com, sitting down for a conversation with David Cohen, the sales and export manager for Elvi Wines. Thank you so much for joining me today, David.
Thank you for inviting me.
So while I have you, I would love to just talk through the winery that is Elvi Wines and talk through a little bit about it. So first, let me know who you are.
So, well, as you said, my name is David Cohen, and I am the sales and export manager for Elvi Wines. But I think most importantly, I'm the second generation of this family business. My parents started 20 years ago. So for me being here and continuing the legacy, it's important. Of course, since I've finished college, a little bit before I started working full time at the business and the winery, focusing more on business and sales part of it, marketing and traveling around the world. That's my side of the business. But you know, being a family business, especially wine, we can all relate that wine is something that you fall in love with and then you're in it and it's hard to get out of it. So since I've been a kid, you know, participating in harvests, participating in pruning, or whenever it comes time to do something in the field, it's just part of who we are. We're a wine family. Apart from producing wine, we also love wine. Every Shabbat, we do this game of guessing, blind tasting 2 or 3 wines, guessing which one is which. I always lose because I'm not the best at doing tastings, but I grew up loving this. And that's even today, even though I still am in the business, whenever it's time for harvest, I go out there, I drive the tractor. And when it's time for the something in the field that someone that needs help, go out there and do it ourselves because well, it's something I grew up doing and I really like it.
Well, it's so amazing. It's so great that I always feel that like you for somebody to go out there and market and sell a wine, if they're just so intimately knowledgeable about where the wine's story is actually their story, is you can't ask for anything better than that. And that's why it's so amazing to have you joining us. Thank you again. To that point, can you share the story of Elvi Wine? And I guess that's also your story as well.
Yes, so it is a family story. So how this begins is my dad, especially, he was born in Morocco, in Casablanca, and being part of Jewish family that was, since we traced back, that we got kicked out of Spain in 1492. So my dad's side of my family moved to Morocco, and he went to study in Israel, agriculture engineering in Technion at Nasa Haklait, and he started liking the world of water management, but then he had opportunity to do his PhD in Spain. So he came to Spain and did his PhD in water management and stress management in vines specifically. So that's what his expertise started. And he worked in research for 15 years. And at the end of his 10 years as a researcher, he started also working as a consultant for many wineries in Spain, some of them very big names, non-kosher, just the field part of it, growing the grapes, minimizing water usage and maximizing the yield and taking the best potential possible for also quality of grapes. So after many years doing that and research, and he wrote papers and stuff like that, of course, well, in between he met my mom in Spain. So that's a big part of it also. And both of them decided, look, let's start to produce kosher wine. Let's not produce wine. And since we are Jewish, in our case, Sephardic family also, why can't we start doing it kosher also? Because this was 20-something years ago, and thank God the situation has changed. But 20-something years ago, this wine situation in the world, especially kosher, was not as it is right now. Right now, we have great variety of great wines all over the world. I happen to enjoy many of them. Aside from ours, there are many good wines out there and great wines. But 20 years ago was not the case. It was not that easy to find a good kosher wine. And the ones that were easily found around were not as good. It was only for Kiddush here in Spain, not a big Orthodox community, so people used a lot of the wine for, okay, let's do Kiddush on the wine, and then let's switch to the good wine, non-kosher, for drinking, because we don't want to drink a bad product. thank God that has changed now, along with the food scene. That I think they have both gone along. Food and wine always have been together. And now you see amazing quality kosher food around the world. Here in Spain, you have the first in Barcelona, the first Michelin star restaurant that offers a kosher menu. Only on Wednesdays, but they do offer that. It's only and around the world, just great thing. I'm lucky to do that all around the world. So my parents started 20 years ago. Say, why kosher wine cannot be good around? So let's add to that. And with my dad's expertise in how growing the vine and stuff, they bought a land in the region of Priorat in Monsanto, where actually we produce today the Klos Masora. When they started, they found a vine that was 80 years old. And our neighbor there, the agriculture, said, look, he's been a guy that works the field and animals for many, many years. Said, look, you're not going to get anything from these grapes. Take them away, 80 years. My mom, my dad being very romantic about this. They said, what? No, you're crazy. Now let's start that. Why now we have 100-year-old vine, this Carignan for Klos Masora. And they started producing it and they started working and they started building something. And from there, we started producing Klos Masora at the beginning only for us. It was not until 2009 where we felt comfortable enough to get it out there. And at the same time, while we were building Klos Masora and starting to produce and work with it, we said, hey, look, Spain has so many good wines to offer. Well, I said we because I viewed it as a family concept. I was, of course, very young by then. They said, look, Spain has so many good things to offer. Spain is the first wine producer in the world, if we talk in numbers of liters, gallons, whatever you want. Then bottled, that's a different story. So and Spain has all these many great regions. Let's start. As of today, we are in 6 different regions in Spain. And I want to clarify, out of those 6, we own field and winery on 2 of them. Monsanto and Priorat, where we do Klos Masora and EL26, and the other 4, we work in partnership with local families. We've been in the same place for 15 years straight. And we have part of the winery where we do our wines there consistently. So we have our own machinery on everything, grow the grapes consistently. Of course, my dad being having his PhD and growing all the vines and all this, he wants to grow the vines his way. So we have now found what we think places that have express great potential of Spain, and in the future we have plans of doing it more in other places because of doing great different wines from many different places. So as of today, Klos Masora, EL26 where we are, but then we're in Rioja, La Mancha, Cava, in Aleya, we do the Arenza White, and we try to bring a little bit of what Spain has to offer to the kosher world. But look, first we make wine, and then we say it's kosher, even though all our production is kosher. But as of today, you cannot sell a wine just because being kosher. You need a quality product. And then if it's kosher, even better, even though say 40% or 40% of our sales are in the non-kosher market. So that is something to take into account. And that, I mean, that our distributors are not kosher focused. And of course, we have kosher-focused distributors that sell it on the non-kosher market, but that's harder to track what goes to the kosher, what goes to the non-kosher.
Understood. That's really amazing, and I love how you guys are started in kind of the creme de la creme of Spain, right? I'm sure there's a Spanish phrase for that, but Priorat, Monsanto, and then expanded to representing all these amazing regions from Spain. I always say, Spain is twice as nice for half the price. Like the quality that you can get out of Spain compared to other really amazing wine producing regions is through the roof. And I am a huge fan of your wines, and I know our customer base is. To that point, I want you to touch base on philosophically. Obviously, your father has a breadth of knowledge that's probably unmatched, or one of the kind of foremost viticulturalist agronomists out there. What is the Elvi Wines philosophy when it comes to growing grapes and then winemaking?
So if I had to summarize it, we try to bring the best quality at the best possible price. When we're making a $15 bottle, we want it to be the best $15 bottle you've ever had. At least that's what we try. When you're trying a $100 bottle and an $80, $90 bottle, let's say, we want you to get that at the best possible price. And that's our idea. But what really the most important thing for us, our philosophy behind this, is family. I am involved now, but my sister is finishing her winemaking studies, enologist, in 6 months. Of course, she's already helping at the winery. She's been for a while, but not full time yet. And that will be the new addition to us. And then we have actually the CEO of the company is my mom. So she's the one that runs everything. And she's the one that really super knowledgeable. One of the, and I don't say it because only it's my mom, but I'm good at tasting. Everyone can get better whenever you try and do more and more and more. But one of the finer palates that I found around, and that is basically not a single person can make wine. There's a lot of people out there, and winemaker gets a lot of publicity, gets a lot of advertising saying, oh, the winemaker made this wine, the winemaker behind this, the winemaker behind that. Wine cannot be made without a team. And I think everyone that's on the wine growing business, the wine producing business will agree on that. Not a single person can make wine. It's impossible. 85% of what a good wine is the grapes. Then on the winery, you need, of course, there's a very important job to be done there, but you can make good wine out of good grapes. You can make bad wine out of good grapes, but never the opposite. You cannot make good wine out of bad grapes. That is impossible. So it's everything is part of the team. And then, of course, getting the wine to get known and work around. Actually, yesterday, we were doing all the barrel and tank tasting of all our wines and seeing how that evolved, what were the blends, how was the future projects we're doing. Now we're building a new winery and a bigger winery in Priorat where we expand the production of EL26. As of now, it's been allocated. Soon, hopefully, we can expand. And our idea is, and our philosophy is teamwork. And in our case, teamwork, of course, the basis is our family, then all the other people that are in our company that really help us. But it's definitely working as a team and trying to get the best of what we have and bring it out to the customer.
Amazing. Amazing. David, I can't thank you enough for joining me today to share your story, the story of Elvi Wines. And thank you so much for sharing your amazing wines on the US market. For all of our customers, the Elvi wines are available on Kosherwine.com. As you heard, wines from Rioja, wines from Priorat, wines from Monsanto, Cava, the whole gamut of Spanish wines that are spectacular. Check them out and enjoy the bounty of Spanish wine. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, Brent. It was a pleasure.